why Jett Lawrence is back in the driver's seat in this championship after San Diego. I love Eli Tomac. It was an amazing win. In my opinion, one of his best performances. But that doesn't change the fact that what Jett did in San Diego tells me that he is firmly back in the driver's seat and the favorite for this championship. And I'm going to explain why. And firstly, it's pretty obvious. In my opinion, Jett is the most naturally talented rider to ever do it. I know that's a controversial take, maybe not, but for the people that have watched the sport for a long time, when you see Jett Lawrence ride, he just does things different. He makes the riders that previously were regarded as the best and the most technical, he makes them look a little bit closer to average. He is just a special rider that does not come along very often. The dude is just a phenomenon. Now, the reason I say back in the driver's seat is because his subpar Anaheim 1 performance relative to expectations, and more specifically, the surprising difficulty that he and his brother Hunter experienced on the bike. They took the bike for the last couple of rounds in the outdoor championship. It seemed to go really well. All was sort of expected to continue that trend in SuperCross, but it turns out word on the street was they were dealing with some chassis stiffness that they didn't yet realize was going to be such a problem on the harder packed, more sort of traction at a premium Supercross tracks, and that is a big component as to why, in my opinion, he underperformed in Anaheim, plus just typical Anaheim 1 nerves and just the chaos. It's often not a good indicator. Well, the Jett Lawrence that we saw in round 2 was a far cry from the Jett Lawrence in round 1. He heard all of us dodo heads talking about the bike is too stiff and he's struggling and is Jett Lawrence vulnerable, and he's like, guys, you don't understand how good I am. Goes out and gets second place by, what was it, a second behind Eli Tomac. He reminded us as to why he is a phenomenon and is currently on track to become the greatest of all time. I'm sorry for the Jett Lawrence haters. The statistics don't lie. I did a video about it. He is on track. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but the dude is a phenomenon, and San Diego just continued to reiterate why he is so good. Is if I had to guess what his result was going to be after Anaheim, it would have been a top 5. And the reason is typically it takes time to figure out the kinks in the bike, get that working, and there was only 5 or so days between the two races. Well, one mistake from Eli Tomac and Jett Lawrence is winning that race. To go from 11th with 2 crashes and I believe the 8th fastest lap time to second place behind Eli Tomac, riding right behind him for 15 minutes. It was a phenomenal performance, and as amazing as it is for Eli, I love Eli. I do believe that that is a pretty clear indicator that Jett Lawrence is back in the driver's seat and he is the favorite for this championship. Because if I had to ask, or if I had to answer who I believe is going to win round 3, it's Jett Lawrence. Now, I will say one thing is the track in San Diego had the traction looked phenomenal. It wasn't as hard packed as a typical West Coast track is. It was softer. There was more grip. There was more purchase for the tires to bite into. So I do believe the one caveat is the potential chassis struggles that they're dealing with, in particular stiffness, might have been less of a hindrance in San Diego than it might be in the next round or Anaheim. So I would say that is the one potential sort of caveat, because I do believe that Jett is still not at 100%, which just goes to show how good he is, that Eli Tomac was able to beat him by like 1 second when he still got that bike, I believe, probably at least 5% from where he wants it to be. That would be my one sort of reason for hesitation before I say, okay, Jett Lawrence is about to win the next race, is maybe if the next track is harder packed and more slippery, those bike struggles and the chassis difficulties start to reemerge. But in my opinion, Jett Lawrence is the favorite for this championship. Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong? Is Chase Sexton going to come out and put on a burner? Is Eli Tomac? I believe Eli's going to get some more wins, but man, Jett Lawrence is a difficult guy to beat, and even when he's down, he gets second place. That's like a disappointing result for him. So let's see what happens the third round. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video.